How we looking? All right. Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. And today I'm coming at you guys with my take on Pure Noble Knights. I did a lot of experimentation with this deck. I've been through a lot of changes, and I digress. I go back and forth and teeter-totter on, what's set in stone and what's not, and the ideas that I have in my head versus playtesting in real life and things not working out how they, you want them to. So I reverted back to my original list just because after testing so long, it ended up being more of a 60-40 thing with the other lists that I showcased on my channel. And I didn't really like the 60-40 thing. I like a higher win rate chance. I like a higher probability of comboing off and not breaking. The texts that were in there were really nice, and they did solve problems that I had dealing with side deck cards, but ultimately it put a detriment on my consistency, and I really did not appreciate that. So I reverted back to pure. There was a turbo variant as well, but it loses a little bit harder to certain cards that I'm trying to play around. So I really just felt like the safest way right now, and it's so funny to say, is just to play pure Noble Knights. So obviously made a name for herself being played outside of her archetype, but this deck can actually really play this card exceptionally well. Isold's really nice in her own deck, like honestly. We're going to get into the main deck. I'll explain the card choices as I go along. Essentially, this list is Madrout Turbo, because I feel that full combo is basically just resolving Madrout in this deck and going for Boars and getting your extenders in your hand, stuff like that. That just kind of, it depends. It can be convoluted. Sometimes you can or cannot. It's a hit or miss. When you have the extenders, you can go all the way off, but when you don't, just resolving Madrout for Boars can set you up for multiple turns. In fact, resolving Madrout actually sets you up for the next 3 turns. Getting these bad boys in grave is what's keeping you alive and keeping you set up for your next turn's follow-up plays. So no matter what you're drawing, you're using until no arms are needed again to just continue to cycle through your deck and get cards that you need, like Brothers and another Madrout if you need to start up again. It just totally depends, but yeah, I'm going to start into the list, you guys. So starting off with the monsters. Oh yeah, wait. I gotta let you guys know too that I do have a PayPal and a Patreon. The link is in the description box below of every video that I've ever made since this channel has ever been created. And I would really appreciate if any of you guys would like to donate to my channel to support your boy, so that I can get everything that I need, so that my family can eat, so that, this stuff is still worth my time, and I'm not like just, because I want to invest more of my time into the channel, but the thing is, if it's not worth my time, I unfortunately can't do that. And also in regards to requests and certain decks that people want to see, I'm breaking my bank for that. So, I would appreciate if you guys help me to get those cards that you're asking me for. But nonetheless, whether I get the donations or not, you guys know I continue to do my thing regardless, because Jesus Christ has got me. So let's start off with the monsters. We're playing 3 copies of Morgan, the Enchantress of Avalon. It's the only hand trap of choice. I'm not an avid fan of hand traps. It's not that they're bad cards. I just personally care more for helping myself than hurting my opponent. I feel when you play a deck to its maximum potential, you'll learn that it can hurt your opponent as much as you wanted a hand trap to. There is an application that hand traps have with turn 0 play, stopping FTKs and stopping decks from coming off. But I also feel that if you're competent enough and know your deck well enough, you'd be surprised what boards your deck can navigate through if you play it correctly and exceptionally, of course. But anyways, 3 Morgans. It's not only the only hand trap in the deck, but I feel it's the only one that I need because it does what I like it to do. It helps me to combo off and protect myself because I care more about my plays. I care more about progressing my game state than I do about hindering my opponents or kind of diluting their plays, making it a bit more mediocre and easier for me. I'd rather just take the challenge of just trying to navigate correctly through those boards and abusing mechanics. This deck can spam rank forms, and in the new Master Rule Revised, it's going to get even better. But Morgan is the hand trap of choice because she does the 2 things that I really need any hand trap to do, which is why she's the only one that it's there, because she protects my plays and also at the same time can make sure that there's the pivotal cards that can normally be my choke points. She can get that out of the way for me. So it's a little bit better than Called by the Grave, but she does require a bit of a setup. So if your deck is not built adequately enough, you shouldn't play 3 because then she'll start breaking for you. But because this deck is built to pretty much pair her like a fine wine with every hand where she's always going to be live, I really like 3. And the fact that she's not searchable just makes me want to play 3 more, because every time you see this card in your opening hand, you're just almost dang near guaranteed to go off. She's just really that powerful. But continuing, we're going to get Morgan out the way. We're moving up to Merlin. I know that this card doesn't really see play And I understand it locks you into Oni Knights and it doesn't have enough generic applications for people to want to play Merlin. But when I said pure Noble Knights, I really meant pure. You're pretty much playing very similar to a Sound Migrate player. You're setting up your turn 1 board. It's optimal. It doesn't put up very many interruptions. Typically, it's Morgan Driston, Negate Pop. That's 2 interruptions. It's better than nothing, but the board's very well protected. It can easily replace itself, and you have all your follow-ups engraved so that regardless of what cards you're drawing next turn, you're guaranteed to go off because your resources are in your grave. And that's because you resolve Boars, and you got the Until Noble Arms or Needed cards into your graveyard, and you got the equipped spells you need to make sure that your board is as close to indestructible as possible. So Merlin essentially allows you to turbo out Madral. Like I said, this deck is Madral Turbo. Now, I prefer opening with Madral specifically because he allows you to just make whatever you want. There's no restriction of you can only summon this for the rest of the turn or anything like that when you're resolving Madral. But just keep that in mind with Merlin, that he will lock you into Only Knights, and that's why most people don't like to play him. But I still love the card. He's an exceptional card. He's a lone fire for the entire archetype. His graveyard effect comes up a lot more than you think, and it's just really good for pushing. And because it is a quick effect, you can catch a lot of people off guard. And the reason being is because some of these cards have effects on summon, right? Like you can get the effect of our, the Arturgus on summon to target equips and just get them right back so that you just can stop yourself from being OTK'd sometimes. It's just really, really powerful. I like Merlin. With the Turbo variant, I wasn't playing Merlin in that because I was summoning just generics like Tornado, Dweller. You can even make Redoer Lambda boards. In the Turbo variant, it's very, very, very similar to Lunalights, except you're just not abusing non-hard once per turn graveyard recursion cards. You're just playing Noble Knights. But anyways, 3 copies of Merlin. So this is 3 of the mini copies of Madral we have. When I said Madral Turbo, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So continuing with the monster lineup, I do play 3 copies of Madral. This card is the best starter in the deck, not because of his effect. I mean, there are cards that are very similar. He's nearly the best card, really. He's nearly the best Noble Knight, but the thing is, he does not restrict or lock you into any specific summons. Like, if you read him, once you use his effect, you can still summon whatever you want. He's a vanilla on field, which is kind of cool, because they can't, like, imperm first, and then you're like, oh, I can't use his effect. They just literally, like, have to wait till you equip him. And in addition to that, getting access to the boards and just getting those Until Noble Arms are needed again in your grave just gives you way too many resources. Like that is an insane plus. Like Madral plus an equip is like dang near full combo. If you open any extender, it is absolutely full combo. You're going off. So Madral is just very, very nasty in this deck, which is why I felt if you're gonna play pure Noble Knights, you want to make sure your deck can get access to Madral every hand. Think of Madral as the Alistair the Invoker for your deck. It's just that 1-card combo. It's damn near a 1-card combo that you really want to see as quickly as possible. So continuing with more copies of Madral, I played 3 Heritage of the Chalice. I played 2 copies of last chapter of the Noble Knights. I tested a lot before even putting this in because it was more or less like, if it keeps bricking, I'm going to take it out. But it works out really good, especially because Gamma's popular. So basically, like in testing, when you have your combo with Madral, and you try to activate his effect, and they Cypher Gear Gamma and kill Madral if you didn't have like Destiny. Typically, you don't want to protect him if you have the choice to choose between whether or not he dies. You should just let him die so that you can activate last chapter and resummon him. And I'll go ahead and tell you right now. There's like literally nothing once per turn about Madral. Like you special nobody. Like the only thing that I think the reason why they did make him once per turn is because you have to control no other monsters to actually resolve him. But if you try to equip a equip spell to him and activate his effect and then gamma him and he gets destroyed, then you can activate your last chapter because guess what? Your opponent controls gamma, right? Because that's a monster on their field. So your opponent controls a monster and you control no monster. So now you're turn 1. Last chapter, back into Madral and do the same combo they tried to stop. So you ate through the gamma and did the same thing you were trying to do. So it's like a call by the grave, but it's an extender. It has recovery plays. It's like a 1-card Madral in the mid to late game after you resolve your first full combo. It just brings your tempo back up to speed with on par with the rest of the decks. Madral is just really nasty in this deck. So I like this card. It doesn't see play. It's not very popular. It really never saw play even when Noble Knights were out. It was like a kind of cool one-of, but I'm really enjoying the card a lot. So it's actually counting towards the Madral count and then the Rhoda. So when you really think of it, I'm playing 12 Madrals. And that's why I really wanted to display these cards first to show you guys exactly how serious I am about Madral in this list. This card does not actually give you direct access to him. So I would say hard drawing this is not the equivalent to hard drawing a Madral, but you still have 3, 6, 9, 10 ways to hard draw your Madral outside of just using Isolde, searching him for your next turn. So if your board gets broken, you could just use Madral for the next turn for your recovery play. But I just really see these as 12 Madrals. He's just really important, So let's go ahead and put that back. Let's organize it. And continue with the monsters now. So we've got Merlin, we've got Madral. Very important to see Madral. Like, you can combo off in this deck without Madral. You can just go Brothers Special. You can go Ivan for token. You can go Custonin. There's tons of ways that you can combo off, but I just love the follow-up plays that you get off of Boars. I think it's way too powerful. So if I have the choice, I'm going for Madral every time because the follow-ups are there. You're not just making a really decent board that can get 2 interruptions, but it's also because it's so feasibly replaceable. It's so obvious that you can replace the board. Your opponent, if they're competent enough, will know, well, he has the Trap Engrave, so if I break his board, he's easily going to recover from it. So it's just that you're providing yourself recovery plays, allocating those resources so that no matter what cards you draw, no matter what happens to the cards in your hand, your graveyard has the resources you need, which is nice. That this deck can play out of his grave out of turn 1, after turn 1, just like Salman grades. So continuing, I played 3 Brothers. Brothers is another starter. So Merlin, Madral, and Brothers are my favorite starters. My least favorite starter is Ivan, but he's very powerful as an extender as well. There are some times where you're going to be summoning him from your deck off of Madral and then using his effect to summon a token, link him off, and the token into the Isold, leaving the Madral still in the field, and use Isold to summon another level 4, and then just overlay the Madral in the level 4. So that's how you make Madral and plus an equip like a full card combo, like a full combo where you can go Isold plus a rank 4 and still get, a decent board. That's if you don't want the follow-ups off of Boars. So Madral, just because he summons any Noble Knight from the deck, he's just very versatile. In recovery plays, summoning Brothers, summoning cards like Pelionor if you need out, problems. It's just, Madral's insane. He really is. And if you want Madral to turn into a 1 card, basically that goes to a link 2 and a rank 4, you can just Madral for Ivan. The equip spell dies. It's going to re-equip to Ivan. Ivan's going to trigger. Get your token. Link. Bam. Isold. Search. Replace the Madral. So now it's really a free board. And then just, summon out Brothers. Draw. And then overlay. And then bam. You still get a +1. So Madral is always going to be a +1 also. It's just really insane. But I just don't really like 3 Ivans. Even though he can just be an Isold. And sometimes, no matter how bad your hand, if you can just make an Isold, normally you just can make plays. Because she's really getting her own deck. But I just really don't like the third. So these are the starters. And this can be an extender in certain situations, but most of the time, he's either going to be a starter or just using him to manage your resources and keep looping your Isolds and constantly make sure that you have equip spells in your deck so that you can still resolve Isold. And then for extenders, we have 3 copies of Custom, and this card is the best extender in the deck. It really is. Like, you can go toe-to-toe with some of the best decks of the format, depending on the situation, obviously. But because this deck is able to do things like this, it can go toe-to-toe with some of the best decks. Like, there are certain situations where you just can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! That's understandable. But if this deck is able to play, it has a fair chance. That's why I like this deck. And then for more extenders, I play 3 Gawain. Because you are, like, literally, Madral so important. It's very easy to set up for Gawain. The other thing is Ivan can summon a token so that Gawain can remain live. So that you're not hard drawing dead copies of it. It's just really an exceptional extender. It's not once per turn to summon, so you really just want to max out on it. Because seeing multiples can just mean your board's even more nuttier. Because if you open Madral plus a bunch of extenders, it's crazy. Because remember, as long as you're not doing any specific effects that lock you into only Noble Knights, and certain ones are for the rest of the turn, and certain ones are during. Like Merlin's like the whole turn, but certain ones are like for the rest of the turn. As long as you're not locking yourself out, and you open Madral plus extenders, you can make those generic rank 4s on your turn 1 board like Tornado Dweller and stuff like that. You can do that with Madral because he doesn't lock you out. So it's really nice to open Gawains. Like if you open Madral double Gawain, it's really, really cool because you can actually get the token from Ivan so that these are still live. Because obviously once you equip him, he's not a normal, so you can't just like special Gawain. But you can get out Ivan and then use Ivan to summon the token and then drop both of your Gawains, which is really, really cool. So it's just nice because then you can just push through more back rows to summon multiple Arturiguses and etc. And then I play 2 copies of Boars. Now Boars is naturally a 1-of for me because I typically only resolve his effect actually once per duel. I really don't like resolving it after that because the best target's out of your deck, and you never want to just blindly dump your equip spells because it's really important to have a certain amount in your deck for Isold to just always get the maximum value. Like, you need to make sure you get the maximum value out of every card you play, no matter what deck you're playing. That's how you play competitive. That's how you survive. That's how you make it to higher rounds, and how you go X1 or X2 and make it to day 2 and stuff like that. By getting the maximum out of your cards. So Boros is one of those cards that I really just resolve him once a duel. But because there is an issue where you can hard draw him and you can't summon him from your deck off Madrout, that's the reason why I played the second one. Because the first time I resolve Madrout, I'm going for Boars every time because I need those follow-ups. I feel that I'm a lot more comfortable and confident whenever I have those follow-ups. So no matter what happens to the board that I made, I can easily remake it. And then we have Dristan, an exceptional card. Very powerful. The fact that you can target him, boost him, and make him unable to be targeted and unable to be destroyed is just really nasty. He also protects your Isold because she does have 1800 or less attack. He's just a really, really disgustingly powerful card. Outside of him popping any face up, just his protection is ridiculously good. He's seriously so strong. Like, Dristan is the tits, guys. And then Pelionor. So that you can have more aggro plays going second. Your Madrout has more options. You can get Pelionor to out a card and also draw. And it's a 19-beat stick. It's not a bad card in it. We have Ector. Ector is a great extender. It's like a dragon ruler. And you can't really do the Summon Sorceress play because Summon Sorceress is banned. But we used to play the other level 5 too because there's a Summon Sword combo where you just Madrout, equip, boom, make an explosive board, summoning out both the level 5s and doing a rank 5 play and getting both follow-ups off of that is just nice. But this card's still here because you can push through back rows, you can push through negates. It helps you to turbo into Isold, and then leaving him in grave, your next turn you have a follow-up, so you can make Isold before normal summoning sometimes because you have the trap in grave. You just banish, summon a brother, shuffle, draw, banish, summon him, link, Isold, and just go off. So that's it for the monsters. Now for the spells. You already saw the heritages and the chapters and the Rhoda. These are just kind of some of the best spells in the deck. Honestly, my favorite ones. Glory, for some reason, is just really just disgusting. Like, I play 3 of this card because I hate not drawing it. That's the funny thing. I'm actually playing it because I want to draw it. Like, I'm playing it at 3 because I really love drawing this card. Like, I hate not drawing it, and I don't really like the fact that it's not a Noble Arm card. If this just said Glory of the Noble Arms, it would be insane because you could search it then. It's a Noble Arm card. But it's a really, really nutty card. It makes Dristan even more dangerous because now you have 6 ways to pair with your full combo. So if you open this or Morgan with your full combo, then you can put out more disruptions because now you can trigger Dristan on command whenever you want to, so that you can pop what you choose instead of just, oh, Morgan negate, now I have to pop right now because the re-equip's happening right now. So now you can choose the Dristan, the timing for it. It's just a really great card. And opening it with Madrout is full combo, so it's just like any equip that you want instead of hard drawing a random dumb equip like Clarent. I'd rather draw Glory than any equip spell in the deck because it lets me pick what I want. So this card's just nuts. And then we played 2 Excaliburns, 2 Noble Arms of Destiny. The only equip spells I feel that you need multiples because they're the best ones as far as protecting your boards go. We have 1 Caliburn, 1 Gallatin. Arthur is another card that really helps you push through back rows. This deck has a decent matchup against a lot of decks. It can be just slaughtered by Winda, I will say that, but it can be decent against Spiral. It depends on what board they make. Like, if they made a Appaloosa Dweller board, it might be trouble, but you do have inherent summons like Gawain that can just allow you to summon a rank 4 with bypassing, negation, because Gawain, you just special summon him. They can't, like, Appaloosa negate Gawain. That's an inherent summon. So sometimes the composition of your hand can allow you to push further through some of those big boards. And then the Clarent, I don't like it, but it's definitely necessary because you will run into an issue if you only play like these. If you draw this, right, you're like, okay, I can still, use Isold for 4. But then you're like, oh, I drew 2 of the 1 of equips. Now you can't resolve Isold for anything because I don't play any level 3s. So you definitely want to have at least 6 targets so that even if you draw 2 of the 1-ofs, you can still do Isold for 4. It's just really important. So Clarent's terrible, but it's just a name. Pushing for time sometimes, but not really. And then we have Gwynnifer. Gwynnifer is, yeah, she's the tits, honestly. She's a really, really crazy good card. You make some, like, if you play against a deck when they don't really have decent back row removal, and their main spot removal to get rid of cards is like targeting and destroying, it can be a problem because even when they're trying to kill the equips on a monster to get rid of it, those equips can just re-equip to another monster and then make that monster more of a problem. So if you're playing against certain decks, like back when Sky Striker was popular and they had Afterburners, Widow Anchor, it was really hard for them to do with your boards because they just naturally, the one threat that was there couldn't be targeted or destroyed. And she added to that layer of protection, just making it even worse and harder to get over. And we're playing 3 of this trap. This trap is, you guys, this trap is like the best card in the deck, high key. It's just insane. Like, the reason why we're even turboing out Madral is so that boards can dump all of these. Like, I typically go 2 and then for Winifred, but if I already have access to, you know, Noble Arms of Destiny and Excalibur, then I just go for all 3 of these. Get 2 engraved, 1 on field, activate it, grab a Morgan, negate, pop, you know, it's just nuts. The card's nice, and the only effect that's once per turn is actually the grave effect. You can only use this effect, but activation is clean, so if you draw multiples, you can fix, you know, you can fix your hand on your opponent's turn, but I will say it's based on the number of equips, so you still have to have a decent amount to get more value out of it. And in the extra deck, we have 2 copies of Isold. You definitely want to play 2. It can get banished, it can get called by, and then sometimes you just don't have a way to put the first one back and you need to summon another one, so 2 is the perfect ratio. We have Borreload. This deck can struggle sometimes with cards that just can't be targeted. Naturally, if it can be destroyed, you can still custom in it back because he targets and bounces, but if it can't be targeted, you need Borreload or something of the similar nature like Abramax or anything like that. But I like Borreload because he's just on command. And also shout outs to Maddie because he sent me these cards. Like, he sent me a lot of the links that I've been playing in my profiles because he knows. So these are the only links I'm playing. I literally only play Borreload in Noble Knights because I just hate when I run into something that can't be targeted. I just really can't get over it unless I like attack over it, but if I can't get the attack power I need, because this deck has a cap on attack power, it's normally like 35 or... No. You can you can boost to like 37. Sometimes bigger, it just depends, but you have a cap, so you just need Borreload a lot of the times. And then we have 2 Arturgus. I play 2 of each of the Noble Knight XYZs, because they do come up a lot more than once, and you can always recycle them, but you just have situations where you just can't always go for Brothers. Brothers is just, he's not always there for you. So you just need the second copy of each. This comes up a lot. Also, I typically use this even on my turns, popping my own equip spells to re-equip them to the card that I want them to be on. If I desire to protect Isold for my next turn, I will summon Arturgus, you know, re-equip from grave. As long as I didn't use the re-equip effect, because, you know, when the equip spells are destroyed, the re-equip is once per turn, and Excalibur doesn't do that. But you'll summon him, you know, get like Destiny and like Caliburn and something else, and you just like detach, pop all 3, use their effects, re-equip like to Isold, and then to like Peleonor. Like, I've done like one second where like I had like cards on the field that had good effects like Drishtan or Peleonor or like protecting something, and you literally use him because he actually pops any spells or traps, including your own. You pop your equips, re-equip them to something that's more important, and he just serves his purpose. And Cussin is really good. Like, cussing in, you guys, like when Thunder was a thing, this was like the only way you had to out Colossus at the time consistently, because you didn't have to search to make a rank 4. Most of the time you just did it. And then these are the generics that I chose. This deck makes a lot of rank 4s. It's like I said, it's like Lunalights, you know. It can really, or I want to say Lunalights is like Noble Knights, because Noble Knights are way older than Lunalights, so they came out along like way before Lunalights you even thought of. But these are the choices, and there were some better ones like I would, but I feel like these are kind of like the best generic rank 4s in the game right now. Time Thief, Redoer, and Lambda definitely is a great idea if you want to play like Gammas and stuff. Because like I said, this deck can really make boards that look just like a Lunalight board. And you'll be like, dang, this guy's playing Lunalights, and you see Noble Knight cards, and you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, I'm also going to show you guys the full combo. So it's really simple. You just have Madral, an extender, and an equip. You play a decent amount of extenders. You play 6 extenders plus the 3 Heritage and the Rotas. You have 10 ways to get access to an extender. You play legitimately like over 10 equips plus ways to search them. So you just need Madral, any equip spell, and an extender, and it's combo. Also, if you don't open an extender, you just Madral for Ivan, and then you just make Isold and leave Madral, and then summon the rank 4. So let's say like you have Custonin. Custonin is my favorite extender in the deck because he not only gets an extra body on field, but gives you the extra normal summon too, which is really insane. So you go ahead and normal withdraw. You activate the the Glory of the Noble Knights, and if you're like pushing for time or something, you'll get the equip that lets you boost. Excuse me. You'll get Caliburn, for example. Equip it to Madrout. You know, gain some life points. Use Madrout's effect. And you'll special out the boars, obviously, from your deck. And then destroy the Caliburn, and then use Caliburn's effect. Target a warrior, type Noble Knight you control, equip this card. Boom. And then you'll proc the boars. And boars, unlike Madrout, does not destroy the equip. So once you resolve his effect, he's going to stay equipped. And that's how Custonin's going to remain live. So I'm just going to get all three of these because they're just good. So you'll get 1, 2, one's going to get added to your hand. You're going to special this bad boy. Link the boars and the Custonin off. Make your Isold. I always search another Madrout off Isold because it's going to remake the same board if it gets broken. So grab a nice Madrout off Isold. And then, so look at it's a 3-card combo. You already got 2 of the 3 cards back, and you've got a Link 2 in Madrout. So you already are plussing. In addition to you plussing, you do have 2 follow-ups already in your grave, and a card that's going to net you even more value. So Isold's going to send, Destiny, Caliburn, this, and this. And then you're going to summon a level 4 from your deck. The one I recommend, just so that you can keep your maintaining your resources, make sure that you can actually resolve Isold to summon from the deck for another time, is go for Brothers, resource management. And what you're going to do is target the equips that you don't want. So you're going to get, like, for example, Arthur, Caliburn, leave those, and then you'll grab, for example, Custonin. Custonin did give you an extra, but it doesn't matter. And the draw doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're replacing the 3 cards you used for the combo are getting replaced. So your hand's back at 5. So this is absolutely a free board. That's why I like the Madrout combo, because of the resource maintenance. And in addition to that, so if you check Brothers out, he says when you do his normal summon effect, for the rest of the turn you can't special except for Noble Knights. But right now, you're not under any restrictions. Madrout doesn't put you in restrictions. Boris puts you in no restrictions. She puts you in no restrictions. So you can overlay for any rank 4 that you want. Any rank 4. Like, you can even go for Dugaris if you just want to be greedy. You can go Dugaris, detach, bam, and then do that. Or you can just go for Baguska if you feel that it's just not good enough. But typically what I do to keep setting up my Noble Knight plays is I go for Arturgus. But like I said, you can summon anything you want. And I use Arturgus to bring back these 3 right here. You didn't use any of these re-equip effects. So the next thing you're going to do is make sure that you have another turn. So you're going to use Arturgus' effect to pop these 2 equips right here, and then re-equip them from your grave to your Isold. And now you can see exactly how much you plussed. These are the same 3 cards you used for the combo, so you're back at 5 cards in hand, and this is your field. You're plussing like you're playing Fire Fist, and then in addition to that, this is going to snowball out of control, because if you drew a Glory, or if your opening hand had Glory, one of the 3 Glories or the 3 Morgans, or if you drew into it, or also if you RNG'd into it off of Noble Arms, because you get to actually search for reveal 1, 2, 3, you basically get to do this. So let's say like you hit this off that, or you just drew it in your combo, or you had Glory, then you would just set the Glory. You would then activate the Noble Arms whenever you want on your opponent's turn to summon out the Dristin. The Dristan's going to further protect the Isold even more, so that she's already protected by the Noble Arms of Destiny and the Gallatin. Now she's even more protected by Dristin. And then you can go ahead and Morgan your opponent. And I would recommend re-equipping the Destiny to Dristin, because he's already protecting her from, that stuff. So you would Morgan, negate a card, bam. Re-equip this to Dristin, pop a card, bam. And then your follow-ups are still there for you to just keep playing. So you're set up for your next turn and then the turn after that, which is really nice. So that's why I really like Madrout in this deck. And it goes to show that this deck is still a decent contender. It really is. Like, I see potential in a lot of decks that really deserve it, and I feel like this is a deck that deserves it, man. It deserves the potential. I mean, not the potential. It deserves the attention, and it definitely it deserves to see some play competitive. I don't mean it deserves to be broken and banned, you know, like, but it definitely deserves recognition because it is Noble Knights and it's a euphoric deck. Some people just will not give up on this deck, and I'm one that's still trying to innovate it. You guys know this about this channel. Any deck that is an underdog deck more than likely has been showcased on this channel, and more than likely I've taken my own crack or spin at it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. God bless you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. You guys have a beautiful night, all right? Peace. Oh, yeah, and keep in mind one thing that I forgot to mention to you guys before somebody tries to correct me on the video, because Lord have mercy. Sometimes it really is that serious to people. You have to keep in mind that he has a rest of the term clause too. So it is you gain the additional normal summon. In addition to that, you can, right? So also you cannot special from the rest of the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Noble Knights. So if I'm not mistaken, if you choose not to use his extra normal summon, you won't be locked out. But I don't care about his restriction at all. He was just an example extender because I summoned a Noble Knight anyways. But I just want to say that because you already know somebody's going to try and correct it anyways. But peace out, you guys.